This is NDTV and you are watching NDTV Prime.
Welcome ladies and gentlemen to a brand new episode of CNB Bazaar Buzz here on the NDTV network. I'm Siddharth and as always we've got a jam-packed show for you with some really interesting cars and bikes and well even something that will make your car look really cool. So let's take a look at what we've got in store. The brand new Hyundai Verna, we take a quick first look. Tyre Decals, the new cool accessory for your car. Honda's brand new Africa Twin tested in India. And Goodyear's brand new performance tyre for SUVs. So let's then take a look at that brand new Verna. It is the 3rd generation in India and the 5th generation internationally, and we've driven it but very briefly. We can't show you any of those pictures and videos though, but we can show you a first look at the car. So here it is. The Hyundai Verna was launched in India in 2006, which is over a decade ago, and it's gone through a few generations since. We're now getting the 3rd generation of the brand new car in India, and it's the 5th internationally, and here's what we know of it so far. Well, the new car does have a slightly evolutionary design. It's not the same as the one we've seen in China, and it's got new headlamps as the international one. And yes, again, as we mentioned, a little evolutionary, but it does get LED daytime running lights. It gets projector headlamps and projector fog lamps. Now it also gets the big new Hyundai family grille like we've seen on all the other cars, which is wider, sort of more aggressive, more angular in terms of design. But the big change is the rear. Now the rear is very influenced from the Elantra, and just similar to the Elantra, it also has the arrowhead design in the LED lights in the tail lamps, which does look very unique, and it might form a signature look for the Verna. Now in terms of the interiors, the Verna does get an evolutionary design language just like the exterior. Dark grey and beige two-tone palette, and you also get a 7-inch touchscreen. Now the touchscreen gets Apple CarPlay, Android Auto and Mirror Link, and you also get a Hyundai app by which you can control the infotainment controls like the volume or the radio channel. But you also get a convenience features like cruise control, a rear blind for the rear windscreen and the rear AC vents. But my favorite feature by far for the new Verna has to be the new cool seats up front. Now I've always personally approved of these cool seats, and we've always said that it needs to move down the price range, and the Verna definitely has it, and we think a lot of buyers in India, considering the fact that we live in an extremely hot climate, will definitely be appreciative of this. In terms of engines, the Verna will get only 2 this time around. The 1.4s have been dropped, it's just the 1.6 litre petrol and the 1.6 litre diesel, both 4 cylinders, both get mated to a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed automatic. The petrol makes 121 bhp and 130 Newton meters of peak torque, while the diesel is 126 bhp and 245 Newton meters of peak torque. We have driven the diesel, it is a little more responsive than before, and yes, the power delivery still is very linear and very smooth. Hyundai had originally planned to launch a mild hybrid version of this new generation Verna, but has instead opted to go with conventional internal combustion engines only.
Actually, before we launch next gen Verna, we planned the introduction of the mild hybrid because at that time government has some benefit about this product. But after GST rollout, there is no benefit such this kind of benefit. So we withdrew our mild hybrid introduction for next generation Verna. So now we have the petrol and the diesel 1600cc, which is the most powerful engine, power and torque in this segment.
The new Verna also gets a brand new platform called the K2. This platform has been designed with over 50% utilization of high tensile steel, which is almost double of what the last generation has. Airbags will also be standard across variants, with top spec cars getting more than 2 airbags. The new Verna will be launched in India on August 22nd, and pre-bookings for the car have already begun. In terms of pricing, expect a mid-range version to be priced at about 10 lakh rupees ex-showroom, and the overall price range exactly in between the Maruti Ciaz and the Honda City. So there you have it. That's the brand new Verna for you. And yes, of course, we will bring you a detailed first drive report as soon as we get our hands on it. But let's move on to something that's really cool and a little extra touch for your car. We're talking about Tyre Decals. Now, they've been around in the motorsport field for a while. Now you can actually do them on your street cars, but not the old-fashioned way. This is something brand new. So here, have a look. Tyre lettering has been around for decades. Manufacturers do it on their performance tyres in some cases, but it is mostly seen in motorsport circles where it helps teams distinguish between various tyre compounds and various tyre types. Of course, with all things motorsport, this too made its way onto the street, with enthusiasts doing it to their old school hot rods. Now, back in the good old days, if you really wanted to give your street car that race car look, you needed a set of Tyre decals. Now, what you would do is grab a can of paint, a brush, and spend a weekend peacefully actually drawing them on. Now, you did require a lot of patience, but there is a modern solution to that conundrum. It's called Tyre stickers, and a company called Tyre Vogue is making them in India. So we've got a set for the Creta. We're going to unwrap these, slap them on, and well, let's see how they look like. Now, what you get in the kit is a tyre cleaner, a flexible rubberized glue, which is specifically for this purpose, and of course the tyre decals themselves, which do have a protective plastic cover and a backing paper. While the actual process of applying tyre decal is quick and simple, the process of preparing the tyre is longer and takes a bit more effort. For the decal to be placed onto the tyre surface has to be completely clean without any dirt, grime or oily residue that is usually found on a tyre. The first step is to wash the tyres thoroughly with water and soap. For the best result, you can also add a bit of detergent into the mix. Once the tyre is washed, we move it to a clean dry area to start the second step in the cleaning process. This step needs the tyre cleaner that is provided in the pack. Apply judiciously on a piece of cloth and rub the surface of the tyre where you intend on placing the decal. This has to be repeated at least 3 or 4 times until the tyre is completely clean. The tyre cleaner essentially is an ethyl alcohol compound that wipes off all the oil residue that the tyre rubber secretes. Once that is completed, small pointy rubber bits that stick out on the side of the tyre from the manufacturing process need to be clipped off. While you can do it with your fingers, a cheap nail cutter will do a much better job. And now it is time to apply the actual decal. Peel off the bag protecting paper and split the decal into smaller pieces. Place it on the tyre to get a rough gauge of where the tyre decals need to be, and then apply the special rubber glue that is provided in the pack on the back of the rubber letters and place it onto the tyre. Make sure they stick. Remember to apply enough but equal amounts of pressure on every single letter or design. Continue the process with the leftover letters or design until one tyre is complete. After leaving them for a bit to dry, you can remove the retaining transparent tape on the letters. For the best results, leave the car overnight or at least a few hours to let the letters dry completely and bond with the rubber on the tyre. So there you have it, from a plain black boring round piece of rubber to something that looks really cool. Now, you could have them in a traditional tyre name like the Bridgestone that we have here, but the coolest thing about these decals is the fact that you can actually print whatever you want, and you can custom make them. So obviously we got NDTV car and bike, but you can get your name on it, you can get a hashtag if you want, and you can even name your car and have that name on it if you have a pet name for it. Basically, Tyre Vogue does make these in India and they ship them all over the country, and you can also get them in yellow if you want a more sort of classic racing look. This particular kit costs about 4,000 rupees and is available on Tyre Vogue's website. Tyre decals make a car look instantly cooler, not only when they are standing still, but also when they are moving. So go out there and get yourself a set. And that for sure makes the Creta look much nicer, doesn't it? Well, we're going to go into a short break now. Stay tuned for a lot more, and we'll bring you a little more about this lovely quad bike on the other side of the break.